I was watching a spin-off of Yellowstone last night. Basically, it's set in the 1800s, and goddamn does it look hard. When you compare that, and I know it's only film and it's exaggerated, but it's got to be somewhere near. When you look at that and you compare it to us now, you look at us and just say, what a bunch of pussies we are. That's why I look at it and say, God, all of us, you know what I mean? We sit here and we film each other, we film ourselves on cameras and talk about our feelings. No, that is a joke. But if you imagine that lifestyle, especially if no one's familiar with the series, it's essentially set in Texas and they're cowboys. They're in towns that are a bit ruthless, fighting, killing all the time, evil men. Do you know what I mean? Stuff like that. There's wars, there's land being fought for, and stuff like that. And you look at today, and you look at it and you go, well, in England, that's not happening. And I guess you look around the world, it is happening, so it is a bit different in those other countries. But for us, our life's a piece of piss, really. Not got anything going on. The hardest part of our day, what is it? Probably ran out of ketchup or, I don't know, something minor, whatever it is. Flat tyre, you crash your car, I don't know, you get fired. Now compare it to something like the lifestyle of what's on that TV show, which would have happened back in America. Those sort of people that were sort of, what would you say, the first ones to do things. Anyway, you compare them to now. Their worst part of their day could be that their bloody daughter dies or gets raped. They don't go with food or water for a week or whatever, 5 days or whatever. Or they're in the blazing heat. Us, our worst part is the aircon don't work for a day, but you still open your window and drive down the road. It's not really comparable. When I watch shows like that emphasise these things, I just have more appreciation for today's society. Do you know what I mean? I'm driving past an Asda right now, a McDonald's, a Costa, a Starbucks, TK Maxx, a Home Bargains. Food literally at my fingertips. As long as I have money, I'm sweet. We purposely dehydrate ourselves. We have an abundance of food, water, shelter, safety. Or at least most of us, the majority of us in this country do. And yet depression is as high as it possibly, well, not as possibly can be, but as high as it's probably ever been. And it's interesting because you go back to them days and you tell those people this is what the future's going to look like. They'll be thinking, bloody hell, I've been born in the wrong era here. And then you tell them, well, everyone's actually depressed and people are actually killing themselves more than ever. And they'd be probably going, what? There are more detailed cause that. We do have different types of struggle and different types of conflict now. From a younger age, we are exposed to a bit more. Don't get me wrong, I understand that. But I'm just talking about if you put it on the surface. For me, the way I use it is I look at it on the surface and I say, look at the comparisons. While I'm sat there in my bed watching a TV about this, chilling, they're doing all that, and that's what someone would have done in the past. And it can't not make you go, well, my life's pretty damn good, pretty damn amazing. And without having to get into the details of it all and start criticising it and devaluing it, it works. It's a good thing that we can do that and that we can sort of see the perspective. And I wonder how many of us would actually survive in those days. It must create pretty strong people, pretty resilient people. There is a negative to it as well. It seems, by the stories, it's pretty ruthless. You know what I mean? There's not much love and there's not much good that's happening. Or at least you don't see it in the stories. Exactly. I'm tired right now doing an 8-hour shift, getting, what did I get? 6 hours, was it 6 hours? 7 hours. So getting 7 hours of sleep. I'm knackered. 7 hours of sleep, 8-hour shift. I'm knackered. And you look at that in comparison. They weren't even doing shifts back then. Every day was a shift. Every moment's really on edge. I wonder what sort of people that creates though. I'm looking at the people that are being murdered left, right and centre, and children are witnessing this. And I think, what does that do to the psyche of children? And I talk about things that happened to things that I experienced as a kid, and talk about Gabor Mate and how kids sort of take things personally. and nothing's happened to me. Do you know what I mean? So I could never imagine what actually happens to these kids where they see all this stuff. I guess it is probably just normal to them. I wonder if that's why it probably lasted so long, because it is the norm. And maybe it isn't as tough. Maybe you don't have to be as tough back then, because it is your norm.